Hi golfers, I'd like to introduce to you a training system that will help you to develop a more repeatable swing, a swing that has more club head speed and that enables you to hit the ball more accurately than you ever have before. This uses two training aims. One is the perfect playing heavy iron, which is a weighted club. The second is a grip laser that sits into the end of the heavy iron and when turned on gives you a very good idea of where the path and the plane of your swing is in every practice swing that you make. In this situation here, I've got a ruler laying down here on the ground, which would represent the plane line or the target line. I've got a golf ball sitting just over the other side of that ruler. So that would mean that when I addressed the ball with a normal golf club, the ball would be in the centre of the club face. The shaft would actually point to the centre of where that ruler is. So when you're using the laser and getting a reference from where the laser is pointing, in a perfect world the laser would actually point just inside the ball there. Now that's exactly on the target line plane or the swing plane, but I wouldn't see that it would make that much difference if the laser was actually hitting the ball or going right through the middle of the ball. So for those out there that want perfect reference, you'd have to say that the laser should be pointed just inside the ball. Otherwise, I'd say it's not going to really make that much difference. So when you're making your first swings with the laser in the heavy iron, I'd say that you should just be concentrating on your backswing. So what you're looking for in the backswing would be for this shaft of the heavy iron firstly to be addressing and pointing almost directly at the ball or at your ruler in a perfect situation. So when you take the club away, the far end of the heavy iron should point along the target line all the way up to when it gets to parallel to the target line. As you continue your swing, you're going to notice that the laser is going to start hitting the ground up here well in front of the ball. Now hopefully that's somewhere near on the target line. So that's a perfect on-plane swing. Is going to have that laser running right along that ruler in a straight line right up there. Okay, so I'd just be practicing backswings just to get an idea of what the backswing plane is that you're currently employing. So perhaps you're taking the club to the inside. What we're going to notice is the laser will point well over the ball and probably go on an angle also this way. Okay, so that's probably going to mean you're going to have to reroute that on the downswing to correct it, or you may well be taking the club outside, and when you're taking it outside you're going to find that the laser will hit the ground in between the ball line, the target line, and your feet, and may well be pointing in a direction going this way. So, not necessarily saying that you have to have a perfectly on-plane swing all through your swing, but for simplicity's sake, I would say it should be somewhere near on-plane all through the backswing and the downswing, and then follow through similar sort of position. Now, PGA Tour players will probably be more likely to take the club slightly outside on the backswing, so they're going to get the laser to go a little bit more inside the ball. They may have it pointing in this direction a little bit more, and then they'll reroute. So they're working the club shaft a little bit more this way. But one of the keys is on the downswing, that laser is going to point back to the ball or just inside the ball line on the plane line. So I've just darkened this room off a little bit so that you can get a better idea of the situation that you're probably faced with if you're going to practice indoors or at night time at home. So you can see that the laser does appear quite a bit more bright now. So again, we're looking for the laser just to go inside of the ball on the backswing and come back in a similar position on the downswing. So if I was swinging back to the inside, too flat on the backswing, you'll see where that laser's going. Okay, that's a big problem for handicapped players, is they get it back too far, they take it back too far inside on the backswing, the arms go around as the body turns instead of swinging up more. So what we're looking for is that situation with the lasers right on that plane line. We don't want to go too much this way either. Okay, but it is possible to have these different routing moves and still be able to get the club travelling in a good direction on the downswing. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but we're just trying to make the swing as simple as you can. So just to give you an idea of what that looks like from front on, we're trying to set up with pretty near 50-50 weight distribution, symmetry in that lower half, left arm and shaft almost in a straight line, a little bit of top half tilt, ball position just a little bit in front of centre. You know, this is basically an iron that we're trying to practice with here. And then again, we're trying to get that laser right on the ball or just inside the ball line there. So here I'm standing fairly close to the ball, so this is more like the setup for an iron type swing. So we're still trying to get that shaft on plane though. So now I stand a little bit further away if you want to practice what feels like a driver plane swing. The shaft of the heavy iron is much further away from the ball than it was when I was practicing the iron swing. But you're still trying to point the shaft, this end of the shaft here, at the ball at address. You're trying to point this end of the shaft at the ball or just inside during your parts of your swing. I think when you begin training with this system, you should be doing lots of back swings. Okay, so backswing and perhaps hold, back swings and back to impact. And hopefully you're going to see that the laser's going pretty near on that ball or just inside backswing and downswing. Okay, and then you're going to need to do some backswing, downswing and follow through. So, you know, in an on-plane swing on the follow through, this laser again should come through and point along the target line. So it should be working its way along the target line in the follow through from in this area here, go through the ball or near enough to where the ball was. Okay, and then extend along the target line like that. So full backswing, downswing, follow through. You'll be able to see when you're hovering the end of the heavy iron a couple of inches above the ball, you're going to be able to see on your follow through where that laser is actually pointing. So sometimes it's a good challenge to be trying to hit the ball on the backswing with the laser. So you might do 10 repetitions or 10 times swinging where you count whether or not you hit the ball. So that would be 1. You missed it there, just inside. Just over it there. Pretty good there. Okay, so then you might do backswing and downswing. So you need to hit it both on the backswing and the downswing. Okay, that would be pretty good. And then backswing, downswing and follow through. Laser hits the ball. Well, that was pretty close. Just over it on the follow through, I could see there. And that one I missed on the backswing, pretty close on the downswing, pretty close to it on the through swing. Now this weighted club is actually 5 times heavier than a normal driver, so it gives you a pretty good workout. If you're trying to do 10 exercises where you hit, the laser hits the ball, backswing and downswing, you're going to find yourself getting out of breath after you've done 10 or 15 of these. It's a pretty good workout. The backswing, downswing, follow through this time. Not quite. And usually what you find when you're trying to perhaps hit a draw shot or simulate a draw in this swing, you're going to find that on your follow through, the laser will actually go more on the far side of the ball. So I'll try to do a draw follow through now. So we just want to see it a little bit on the other side of the ball when you're doing the draw. When you're doing your fade, it's going to be a little bit different. A little bit of hold off. It's going to go on the inside of the ball now, between the ball and your feet. maybe not dramatically, maybe only somewhere around about here. And perfect swing again, we'll try. If you'd like any further information about the Heavyiron and grip laser and the training associated, get back to me via our website www.perfectstroke.org or send an email to sales@perfectstroke.org.